God is right here, right now.
No matter what your faith,
all phenomena have natural explanations. There is no supernatural.
Or what you believe.
The human longing is for meaning.
How each of us understands the meaning of life comes down to one ultimate question. Does God really exist?
A part of us yearns for a relationship with the source of all love and joy and hope. And another part that raises its fist in defiance.
For more than 30 years, Dr. Armand Nicolai has taught a popular course at Harvard on the question of God. His text,
Wake up.
the writings of two of the most profound thinkers of the 20th century, C.S. Lewis and Sigmund Freud.
Arguably, Freud is the most influential spokesman for the secular worldview.
Religion is the universal, obsessional neurosis of humanity.
And Lewis, the most influential spokesman for the spiritual worldview.
I believe in God, as I believe the sun has risen, not because I can see it, but because by way of it, I can see everything else.
This is the story of two men with very different ideas of human existence.
Freud and Lewis represent conflicting parts of ourselves. Whatever part we choose will determine our purpose, our identity, and our whole philosophy of life.
Tonight, take an emotional and intellectual journey into the lives and minds of these two giants as they try to unravel the meaning of life in The Question of God.
Funding for this program was provided by Lawrence Rockefeller, the John Templeton Foundation, the Arthur Vining Davis Foundation, the Paul Montrone Foundation, Tom and Gert Phillips, the ServiceMaster Company. Funding is also provided by these funders: this program was also made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by contributions to your PBS station by viewers like you. Thank you.
All over the world, people are asking the same questions. What does it mean to love your neighbor? Why is there so much pain and suffering in the world? What does it take to be a moral person? Is there a God? A man who has spent his life exploring these questions is Dr. Armand Nicolai, a Harvard University professor and practicing psychiatrist. His lectures, seminars, and book, The Question of God, draw on the lives of Sigmund Freud, the founder of psychoanalysis and an atheist, and C.S. Lewis, the most influential voice of faith in our time.
Why Freud and Lewis? Well, few individuals have influenced the moral fabric of contemporary Western civilization more than Sigmund Freud and C.S. Lewis.
We mortals have a root in the absolute. We yearn for that unity which we can never reach except by ceasing to be separate beings called we.
Well, see, that's why...
In Dr. Nicolai's seminar, C.S. Lewis the believer and Sigmund Freud the atheist are brought together in debate.
And some days I don't believe so much.
It has been my life's work to show man that his beliefs and his behavior are rooted not in divine truth, but in his own childhood fears and desires.
So it
Yeah,
is.
but I wanted to ask Michael
For this
one other
series,
thing, because I'm just
Dr.
curious
Nicolai
about
invited a
what you
panel
talked
of
about
7
theism,
thoughtful men and women to grapple with the fundamental riddle of our existence.
Whether we realize it or not, all of us possess a worldview. we make one of two basic assumptions. We view the universe as an accident, or we assume an intelligence beyond the universe who gives the universe order, and for some of us, meaning to life.
To me, there is an order for the way things are, and the central question is whether you want to say that the orderer is God. That's another thing.
Can I jump in for a second?
Sure.
I think that
order
doesn't necessarily mean intelligence. Right. And intelligence, consciousness.
Throughout the series, we will move from their debate into episodes from the lives of Freud and Lewis. The panel will discuss issues of faith and doubt in their own lives.
A large part of me, at many times, for a lot of reasons, has wanted to not believe, because it would be so much easier in many ways.
The question is, I think, for me anyway, to what extent can somebody foist their beliefs on others or claim that their beliefs are true and that your beliefs are false?
Right. Well, that's a real, that
true for you or true for all?
I have experienced God, and I can talk from my experience, and I can trust, as you say, and I have surrendered to that trust.
Naturalism is my philosophy, that all phenomena have natural explanations. There is no supernatural. There's just the natural and stuff we can't yet explain.
We're all betting on something, and we have incomplete information to place that bet.
Ever since I've been a little girl, I've had very powerful experiences of God's presence.
Let's look at these early life experiences as they occurred in Lewis's and Freud's lives.
The man who would become an atheist was raised in a world steeped in religious belief. His home was a small town where, like so many towns in the 19th century in Eastern Europe, a community of Jews lived among a majority of Catholics.
It is not easy to recall those early days. Only a few fragments reach into my memory. But of one thing I am certain. Deep within me there continues to live the happy child from Freiburg, the son of a youthful mother, the boy who received from this air, from this soil, the first indelible impressions.
The Freuds were a traditional Jewish family who lived in Freiburg, a distant outpost of the Austrian Empire. There, Jacob Freud traded in the wool business. Twice a widower when he met Amalia, they were married and had their first son in 1856. The young mother doted on the boy she called her golden child.
I have found that people who know they are favored by their mother give evidence in their lives of an unshakable optimism, which often seems like heroic attributes and brings actual success to their possessors.
For Sigmund, as for everyone at that time, religion, education, and family were woven together.
I was still a young boy when my father started to teach me to read, using the Bible to instruct me in both German and a Hebrew of our ancestors.
Freud had a very close relationship with his father. He was home instructed, probably till almost the age of 9. And as he wrote later, Freud became very immersed in the Bible and in studies of the Bible. He identified with significant figures in the Bible. I'll just mention two that were very important. One was Joseph, who interpreted the Pharaoh's dreams, and Freud later became the interpreter of dreams. The other one was Moses, a very powerful identification with Moses. I think he saw himself as a kind of modern Moses, bringing a new understanding to humanity.
The young Sigmund felt the strong emotion of faith from his nursemaid, a devout Catholic.
My nanny was an elderly but clever woman from the town